Bizarre Brain Comics.
Hello, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Okay, and this time what I want to take a look at is this book right here, Marvel Tales, number 167, featuring Spider-Man from 1984. And this is reprints an older Spider-Man from the Silver Age. Let us consult the big book of knowledge. Marvel Tales number 167 from 1984. It's reprinting a story from the Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 2 from 1965 or 64. It's probably released in late 64 with a 65 cover date. And the title of this story is The Wondrous World of Doctor Strange. It is plotted and drawn by Steve Ditko and scripted by Stan Lee. So this is primarily a Ditko joint. I hate that expression. Anyway. And this is depicting the first meeting of Spidey and Doctor Strange, both co-created and drawn by Steve Ditko. And this was the lead story of an oversized annual, followed by reprints of other Spidey stories. And I think this, I chose this one now because I think it kind of fits in with the Halloween theme I got going this month, because of the magical theme and magical menace which Spidey is sucked into. And the interdimensional prison Spidey is sent to, and the magical MacGuffin at the center of the story. And it's a little on the spooky side, not just because superhero costumes are a big thing at Halloween time as well. It's not all spooky, but we like to focus on the spooky stuff. Alrighty. So, let us delve into Marvel Tales and join Spidey in the wondrous world of Doctor Strange. There we go. Now you can get a better view of this cover. This great Steve Ditko cover. I guess this is representing the cover that was on the original issue, I guess. And we come across Steve Ditko a lot. Because he had such a great impact and was such a big influence in comics through in the Silver and Bronze ages of comics, and even later. Of course, he is best known for as the co-creator of Spider-Man, but he helped create some other characters like the Creeper for DC, the Captain Atom at Charlton, and the Ted Kord version of the Blue Beetle at Charlton, as well of course as creating the Question, which was a softer version of his what was his name? Mr. A, and his work on the Face and the like later. And of course, he did a lot of in the horror genre. Now, I have said many times, as you may recall if you've joined me here for quite a while. Oh, by the way, this is here we are in late October. This makes the right about the second anniversary of my channel. So yeah, it's been going for 2 years. Wow. And Ditko, of course, and he was a great artist. Now, I didn't like his superhero stuff nearly as well as many in many instances as his horror suspense mystery and monster stuff. I think his style just lends better to that. But having said that, I do by and large I like his work, superhero work, better on Captain Atom and the Blue Beetle, better overall than I do his work on Spider-Man. And having said that, I do like his work on Spider-Man, and I do have to say that in this particular story right here that we're going to take a look at is, I think, the best Spider-Man art I've seen from Ditko. And maybe that's because he created both characters. And here we start. Yeah, the wondrous. Oh, this is just great. And you can see just all the. One of the reasons I think his stuff works so well with the horror stuff is because he's this kind of psychedelic, eerie, spooky looking, weird stuff that he could come up with in here. Of course, we have this splash page. And it's the whole page. Not specifically depicted, but it's great. This would make a great poster without the dialogue. And I think that Doctor Strange, especially the earlier Doctor Strange, fits more in with the horror suspense type stuff more than the superhero, but they blended him over into the superhero stuff so much that that's kind of fallen away. But it still works pretty well for that. Okay, and you can see Spidey, Doc Strange, and I've forgotten this villain in green here, who is a sorcerer. Okay, let's start right off into it. I'm going to go fairly briefly, but you can see this, the great artwork, Spidey artwork right here. This is some of Ditko's best. And remember, he wrote, drew, and inked it. Spidey swinging around town trying to find some crime, but coming up pretty much empty-handed. Here we see this creepy fella in the shadows, and he goes to this little dive bar because he sees all this fighting going on, and these two big guys is pounding the crap out of everybody in the place. Now you can see that this guy, how creepy looking he is. And he gets these two guys, and he offers them work, and work, ha ha. And then he uses his power, zip, 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 zip. Oh, and he hypnotizes them, and using his magical powers, takes possession of their minds and gives them more power and total control, and showing that they feel no pain and they can do almost anything. Smash things. They're stronger. They can smash stuff. They can take more punishment, and they don't feel anything. And then he has them follow him home, and here he is with it. He has this wand of Watum, only half of it, and if he can get the second half, he can get what is this guy's name? It'll come up. Zandu. Yeah, Jandu. Yeah. He can get the second half, and he can take total power. So he sends these, but he knows Doctor Strange has the second half of the Wand of Watum. Yes. And so he sends them to Doctor Strange's place because it's magically warded. He can get them through the wards, but they can physically overpower Doctor Strange and make them resistant to his magical power, especially since he has control of their minds. So here they break in and they're coming at him, and he starts gesturing, and nothing happens to them. So he has a simple multiplicity spell, making so many images of himself to confuse them, but they're being controlled by Jandu, and he can see right through that spell, and they go straight for him, beat the crap out of him, smash into the hiding place. They go searching the place, and they find the wand. Remember, this guy is seeing through their eyes. Meanwhile, Spidey's swinging around, and he sees these guys. He's going right by Doctor Strange's place. And remember, this is their first, Spidey and Strange's first meetings. So they don't know much about each other. And he sees these guys coming out, and everything looks suspicious, so he follows them and confronts them, and they begin to wail on him. Well, he wails back, but to little effect. And they just kind of pound him down because they're tireless, they're relentless, and they can't feel anything. Even able to shred his webbing. So they just pound him until he's stunned. And Jandu says, "We don't have time for this. Get back with the wand." So before Spidey passes out, he tosses a spider tracer on one of them, and giving him time to recover. Then back at Jandu's hideout. So you notice the artwork, great artwork. His typical Ditko looking goon, and he has the wand reassembled. Oh, I've got all the power. I've got the power. And so he's looking through and said, the only one who has a chance at stopping me is Doctor Strange. So here I go. He projects this image, and he's going. Of course, he tests the thing out, and he zaps that sculpture behind Doctor Strange. Yes, it will work. But just before he can zap the unconscious Doctor Strange, Spidey appears and confronts him. And zap, zap, zap. Trying to get Spidey. Handy Spidey sense. It's in great physicality, the dynamism, and the visual storytelling is so great in this. And since he can't really zap him, he gets him sucked into another universe. But in the fray, Zandu had dropped the wand, which is the MacGuffin, and Spidey, while he realizes he's being sucked someplace else, he quickly snags that wand and takes it with him. Oh, that really, really irritates Jandu. And his goons were right there. He didn't have a chance to call them, and of course, they only do what he says. So here he is, Spidey is, in the weird and wonderful, bizarre, and psychedelic worlds of these magical dimensions. So he's got to get the Xandu's got to get that wand back. So he sends his goons into this other dimension to get the wand back from Spidey. So everything's weird, and Spidey is bounding and smacking and stuff. Meanwhile, Doctor Strange has come to, and he follows the traces of the goons. He realizes what has happened and gets his magical cloak of levitation on him, and he follows their trace right to Xandu. Meanwhile, Spidey is still fighting for his life, trying to keep that thing away from these guys. And that's a great panel, the way you see Doctor Strange from behind, and the shading over his head and shoulders. He's kind of menacing, and the villain is menacing as well. Then they go to it, zapping at each other. But Doctor Strange is the more powerful of the two, and they get a hold of Spidey. So I got to bring him back now. So he brings everybody back, and this was Spidey's plan. Hang on to these guys, hang on to that wand, and he has to bring them back, and he does. So Spidey is brought back, and he manages to the guy snatches it out of Spidey's hand. So Xandu has the wand, and he zaps Doctor Strange and propels him out. So while Strange, I missed a page. So while Strange is there, there it is, zaps him out of the building. So Strange lets his body hover there, and he leaves his body in his astral form and goes scoping out, sees Spidey still fighting these goons, and he's able to communicate psychically with Spidey and give him a couple ideas. They'll zap. Oh, that brought the goons out of the spell. What the heck's going on here? Said, you just stay here. So Strange leads Spidey back. He goes to the recovers his body, while Spidey goes to confront Xandu again. And then Strange reappears, and they're double teaming Xandu. Double teaming him, able to finally get him to drop the wand. Spidey can web the guy up so he can't touch the wand. And Xandu is propelled into one of the dark dimensions. They have the wand, and Doctor Strange then uses the power of the Eye of Agamotto, saying this wand has too much power for anyone to hold, to be in charge of. It had been broken apart and separated before for protection. That's not good enough. So he uses that power to destroy the wand. And now with Xandu, he finds his backstory. We don't care about Xandu's backstory. And he says, now I grant you the gift of total sleep. When you awake, your memory shall be cleansed of all that has happened. Your evil ambition shall be faded forever. In the name of the omnipotent Ashtur, I so declare it. So I thought he had zapped him to another dimension, but he didn't. He just wiped his memory. So Xandu won't know anything about any of this. And Strange is grateful for Spidey's help, and then they part as friends. And that was their first encounter. And here's a nice pinup of Spidey villain, the lizard, with all these little lizards and gators and stuff. And that is it for that story. I really, really like that story. I think it's well written, and it's visually well told. Has some nice quips and good dialogue from Stan Lee. But the plot was the thing, and the art was the thing. It was all Ditko, mostly Ditko, I should say. I don't want to shortchange Stan Lee. And that was fun. That's a fun book. Fun story, and I think it's a good story, and it's all one and done. I like that, one and done. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your other Spidey-loving pals or those interested in the dark magic of Doctor Strange. Thank you for joining me. And remember, comics are art.